In the heart of nature, we find our true strength, a connection to our roots, to the land, to each other. Introducing Rootwork deodorant, infused with the potent power of High John the Conqueror root. Embrace the natural strength and resilience passed down through generations. Feel the purity of natural ingredients, harmonizing with your body and spirit. Rootwork deodorant, bringing you in tune with nature and with yourself. Rootwork deodorant. Connect, empower, thrive. Available now at rootworkstyle.com.
Oh man, I see Gable in the building. I'm gonna get you in a minute, Gable. We got Gabriel from DNC. Lord, let's get somebody Africa something. My snoring dog is in the back. Africa somebody. In Africa? Turn the microphone on, brother.
What's up, yo? How you feeling this morning?
I'm good, man. How are you, Africa? Now, what part of Africa are you from, brother?
My lineage go back to, all of West Africa. You know what I'm saying? Nigeria, Mali, Sierra Leone, every place, all the places. You know what I'm saying?
So you're from all over Africa.
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, the history of the slave trade, Tariq. I done heard you talk about it, so
Yeah.
you asked me that. Like, it's just like you, everybody else in this space. So I was listening when you was talking to the Ethiopian nigga, and I see you kept trying to compare indigenous people, black indigenous people, to African Americans. I'm not saying that African Americans or black Americans have to call themselves African. That's not what I'm saying at all. Cause you are American. Yeah, I think it's a double entendre. But to compare indigenous people and African Americans or black Americans, that don't make sense.
How so?
Okay, so indigenous people of Australia, they did come from Africa 80,000 years ago. But they
Mm-hmm.
are not considered African because, and like I said, African Americans don't have to call themselves African, but they wouldn't be considered African because they are indigenous to that land, which means they made their culture was developed in Australia. Their tongue was developed in Australia. Nothing they do comes from Africa. These people left Africa when civilization wasn't even a thing. So we talking about a group of people who created their language inside of Australia, not Africa. So you
Okay. So
can't you
what part?
can't really do that.
Okay. So what part of Africa do we come from?
I mean, we come from all over West Africa and Central Africa. If you talk
That's
to it,
vague. That's vague.
hold up. So hold up.
Most people, white people got lineage in Africa.
All right. So this is the thing, though, right? Where in Africa can a white person right now of British descent trace that lineage back to Africa? Because if I go to North
The same
Carolina,
place we can. The
hold
same place
up,
we.
hold up. Because if I talk to a Gullah Geechee person right now, right? A Gullah Geechee person, the basis of Gullah Geechee is over 40 different African dialects. Fulani,
And
Hausa, Igbo, all that shit. If I
and
go, if I
The Geechee is from the Ogeechee River, meaning foundational Black American Indigenous. So you got to
so
put the two. It's the two. It's a combination of Black Indigenous and the Black people who came from Africa.
of
It's a
course,
combination. That's what Gullah
right.
Geechee. Don't
So
leave
so
out
oh,
one
hold up,
and
hold
leave
up.
out the
Of course.
other.
But this is what I'm saying. Because African Americans is an amalgamation of a bunch of different people. British, Scottish, Native American, African, all that shit. But what I'm
Then
saying
how,
is,
then why are we just African American and not British or Scottish American?
so you trying to okay, most Gullah Geechee people is 100% African by DNA wise. So saying that, trying to compare a Gullah Geechee person to anybody else, that don't even make sense. All I'm saying is, like I said, I'm not coming on this space to say, oh, y'all African or oh, say y'all African. All I'm saying is you can be Black American and not compare yourself to a indigenous person because if we hear two indigenous Australians talk right now, it's not going to be no
I don't.
language.
Your argument is all over. You're losing me, brother. I don't even know what
How
your
how am I losing you?
because I don't even know what your argument is. What is your you just I don't know what you're
Bro,
saying.
this is what I'm saying. When you was talking to the Ethiopian dude, bro, you're not dumb. You kept on comparing African Americans to indigenous people. You can't do that. It don't make sense at all. Like it
I
don't make
was
no
kept
sense.
comparing African Americans to no, I didn't. No, I wasn't.
You did, bro. Yo, you kept saying, so why don't the Fiji people or the people of Papua
Right,
New Guinea
right,
call
right.
themselves
Okay, right,
African and Papua
right.
Guineas? Like, what
Because
the
they
fuck are you
came from
talking about?
yeah, no, they came from Africa too.
Bro,
So
it
that's not,
wasn't.
that was his. They came from Africa, but they're not considered African.
This is what I'm
We
saying.
no. This is
People,
what I'm saying. No, 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 no.
go ahead, go ahead.
We had an ethnogenesis. We had
Okay,
everybody's from damn Africa at one point.
okay.
We're
So,
not continental Africans. We've been here too long. We've had and developed our own culture. We had an ethnogenesis. We became a whole different ethnic group. We are not
okay.
continental Africans.
So everybody, okay, so everybody got their own ethnic group, bro. Even in Africa, but you know the
Right.
difference between hold up, you know the difference between that and people here is that a fucking Australian don't come from no Igbo. Is no Igbo in that lineage. Is no Hausa in that lineage. Y'all come from Hausa niggas, Igbo niggas, Ashanti people, all that shit. When they
Do
left Africa, hold on.
what's in a
When
shot?
they,
What make
yo,
slow down, because some of those tribes over there, they can't really trace the origins of some of them tribes. Them tribes are from all over the damn place. They
what are
were
you
pushed
talking
around
about?
and smacked around all over Africa,
That's
sir.
not the point I'm trying
So
to
that's the
make.
no,
This
it's
is the
not
point I'm trying
because
to make. This is
no, slow your ass down. Slow down, because we're gonna learn something. Come on now. You read you a couple of books online, and come on now, stop. Listen, them tribes over there, they don't know their origins. Them tribes have been pushed all over Africa. They don't know their own origins. I ain't no goddamn Igbo. I ain't no Hausa. I ain't none of that. I'm a foundational Black American. You can't go over there and get, hey, I'm one of you. I'm one of your tribe members. They're not going to let you in those tribes. What are you talking about? Let's stop talking this goofy shit. What tribe are they going to let you in? And if you are part of all these tribes, how come you ain't over there? Hop on this phone, man.
all right. So you gonna
What
let me
tribe?
talk? Hold on. You gonna let me talk now, or
What tribe are you from over there?
you gonna let me talk?
I just asked
All
you a
right.
question.
All
What
right. Like
tribe are
I
you from
said,
over
I'm
there?
a amalgamation. I come from anything that was over here
Then
during
why are you
slavery.
not
Hold
over
up.
there in those tribes being recognized as a tribal member?
It's about me. I don't give a fuck about what
But
nobody
you
think of
brought it
me.
up.
Hold
You
on,
do
hold
care.
on, hold on,
You brought
hold
it
on,
up. No,
hold
no,
on.
no, no. You brought it up. You do care. What you mean it's about
What you
you?
mean I do,
You're
bro?
talking about these tribes you're a part of.
I can
How
give
come
a
you're not welcome? How come you're not a member of those tribes now then?
I can give a fuck about what nobody think. The truth is the
Okay,
truth. We
okay,
can't hold
so
up,
this
hold
God
up.
damn, get this plebiscite babbling buffoon out of here. This nigga babble. Damn. You know what I hate? I hate dumb niggas who done read a book when they was in county jail and then they get the plebiscite babbling. You can't even articulate your nigga babble. This is nigga babble. You just saying shit. Just saying stuff. You run around here talking about you part of all these different tribes. I'm from the Igbo. I'm from the Hausa tribe. I'm from, okay, well, how come you part of those tribes? I don't give a damn about them tribes. Get off my phone. This is sassy single mother raised nigga babble, just saying shit. You done sat up here and talked about all these tribes that you're a part of, all of these parts of Africa. I'm from Nigeria. I got a little piece of Mali, a little Kenyan. I got a little all of that. He's from Baltimore. You can hear that Baltimore accent. Baltimore. What's going on with Baltimore? That's the plebiscite babbling capital. I got a little Hausa in me, little Igbo, little Mali, little Ghanaian. Okay, how come you ain't part of those tribes? No, it's all about me. I don't give a damn about none of them. They're making these weird straw man arguments. Australians didn't come from no damn outer space. That's crazy. Like, what? What are you talking about? The hell you talking about? Does a nigga just want some damn attention? That's why think tanks are very important. That's why think tanks are very important, so that like-minded people who are on the same page intellectually can have conversations and kind of flesh out ideas without plebiscite negababble. Miss Cicely Tyson. Oh, she got out of here. Somebody named Cicely Tyson was up here. Let's get American roulette. American roulette, American roulette, how you want to pronounce
Yeah,
it.
roulette. Yeah. How you doing, Tariq?
I'm good, man. How are you, buddy?
Not too shabby. Another night.
Listen,
Actually, I want to. This has been really interesting just listening to everyone talk. I'll pass it on to the next person that wants to discuss anything with you.
okay. All right. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. All right. This charm. Okay. Oh, this charm. Okay. This is charm. I just saw the Cicely Tyson thing. What's up,
Yeah,
charm?
that's me, Dr. Charm. Hey,
How you
Tariq.
doing, dear? What's going on with you, beloved?
Man, okay, so I've just joined, but I see the topic about the DNC, and as a property owner in Chicago, the DNC being in Chicago under these conditions is a slap in the face, and I'm gonna tell you why. My property taxes just went up about $500 a month about a year ago, as did everybody in the Black community, pretty much over the city. But to see the property taxes raised that much, and then to see all our resources going to these, I call them economic immigrants, is ridiculous. There's a activist. She's on Instagram. Is Inglewood Barbie. She's a homeless activist, and she
Oh, wow.
basically has fed the homeless at the police station at 51st and Wentworth, which is in the South Side, for years, and she feeds them from like all the coldest months of the winter, so like pretty much like November all the way to April, and she sleeps out in a tent. And
Wow.
she used to have food, but they would have food where everybody donated. She would get businesses to donate hot meals, and on those really cold nights, the homeless could sleep in the police station at 51st and Wentworth, which is on the South Side. So they stopped that. So she calls them the friends. They have anywhere for them to go at night. Now the migrants, the economic immigrants are there. Not only did they let them sleep in the police stations all over the city, but they had warming buses for them. They didn't have any warming buses. I've gone down to the homeless encampment when I had extra food and things, like I overcooked and would drop food off, and like we all know where they live on the South Side. Like they're right under that viaduct on the Canal Street, like pretty much in the South Loop for Chicagoans. And so to see these people, these are mostly foundational Black Americans who are out there homeless, not getting any services, mentally ill, and to see these economic immigrants get all these services, they are dropping them off in the South Side, in the community. We're seeing them everywhere in places that we would not have seen them before. They don't have them in the Hispanic community. They will not allow them on the North Side, which is where most white people live, because Chicago is extremely segregated. So to
Yeah.
have the DNC there is a slap in the face without addressing the needs. And they've done like deliberate things to just stop any kind of movement. I mean, I think even Dr. Umar and some of the local Congress, local city council were supposed to have like a forum. This was like sometime last year to talk about this immigrant crisis. And like the Chicago folks put a stop to it. The Chicago council, like city council type people, put a stop to that meeting. So it's really a slap in the face. And I just have to say that as a former Chicagoan, but I still own property in Chicago.
Wow. All right. Thank you so much, beloved. Yeah, it's crazy out there, man. The brothers and sisters in Chicago, they're just really not feeling what they're doing out there, bringing all of those economic immigrants and just dumping them out there on them like that, and then giving them all of the taxpayers' resources. And then people want to be at this DNC shucking and jiving and partying like everything is sweet. Nah, 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 nah. All right, let's get Matt's.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Matt. What's going on?
Not much. How's it going?
I'm good, man. Where you from, by the way, Matt?
From Colorado.
There
Kind
you
of a
go.
new listener, just found you recently, but just calling in, I got a question for you. You
Go
said
ahead.
something earlier. You said Venezuelan gangs in particular. You said they're in the country, they're emptying their jails, they're emptying their asylums, and they're depositing these people predominantly in black neighborhoods.
Hmm.
I just want to ask, why do you think that's happening? Is that real? Why do you think that's happening?
Man, have you seen some of these reports about these Venezuelan gangs? I heard, now I want to say it was in Colorado, either Colorado or Arizona, that the Venezuelan gangs took over an apartment complex somewhere and
I think it
started,
was. I think it was in Denver. I think you're
yeah,
right.
yeah, started evicting the black people out of it. And I think it's in Colorado. That's what I heard. I'm hearing horror stories about these Venezuelan gangs and some of these other ones all over the country. And they did the same thing in Miami in the 80s. The movie Scarface was about that. When those immigrants came over, they had that Mario boat lift and they kind of blamed it on Castro. And they had all of those drug dealing immigrants running around Miami, um, flooding black neighborhoods with drugs all over the place. Same thing with South Central LA. They've always done that. They've always let people over. They come over here and then go through a hazing process, but they keep them in black neighborhoods, and then they kind of work their way out of the black neighborhoods and kind of amalgamate themselves closer to white society or to their own prosperous immigrant communities. So
Let me
it, it
ask you about that. When you
it's
say
always they've always had that process. I'm going back to the 1800s, but go ahead.
sorry to cut you off. You say they keep them in black neighborhoods. I'm not denying that that's true. I may not just, but who is doing that?
The white supremacists, because what happens is a lot of these people for a long time they're not considered white yet. They got a reserve whiteness. Just like in the 1800s, you had a lot of the Irish immigrants who went to New York. They were at a black area called Seneca Village. That was a black area in New York. Seneca Village became Central Park once they said, "Hey, we need to get these black folks and some of these poor whites out of here. Let's bring these poor whites and kind of bring them into whiteness, and we're going to turn this into a park." That's how Central Park became Central Park. They've always done that. With Italians going down into Louisiana, they had them around black people first, and then they would kind of gradually let them amalgamate themselves into white society. They've always done that. The Asians, that's why when they let Asians over, they set up the nail shops and the little MSG chicken shops, chicken wing shops in black neighborhoods until they get their weight up, and then they kind of elevate them. They've always done this. They've elevated these other groups first after they place them among us, because Anglo white society, they don't play that shit with foreigners at all. They don't let them come into those
Hmm,
neighborhoods. Anglo white society, they are adamant about these people not being in their neighborhoods.
hmm,
You guard your neighborhoods with an iron fist. So where do these people go? They got to go somewhere. They dump them on us, and it's been like that historically.
hmm. I'll be honest. I'm fascinated with the whole thing. Pretty new to the space. I was
Yeah.
one of those people that was pretty much like, how would reparations work? Like every black person, it just doesn't make sense. But now,
How would it?
I
Right,
actually it does totally make sense with
right,
foundational Black Americans, and
right. Because you're
that
not
makes
giving it to
sense. That
a
makes
black
sense.
person. You're not giving it to every black person. It's not a race.
Exactly.
Right, right. You're just
But
giving
it's
it to
crazy to hear how many people jump in here and they're like, "Where's my check?" And I'm like, "Whoa, that's kind of frightening."
right. Yeah, it's going to foundational Black Americans, people of this lineage here. So we're very adamant about that. But thank you so much. And
No
that's one
problem.
of the reasons why the Tethers call up family. Y'all want to know why the Tethers call up always mad about us not claiming to be continental Africans? Because they can't, they want to glom off reparations. And I want y'all to listen to that Tether who called earlier. Just listen to the vibe. If we don't let them glom off of our culture, because it's really about them glomming off of us, not us glomming off them. By us not sitting up here claiming to be continental Africans, which we're not, that means they can't leech off of us. See, it's not the other way around. They ain't got nothing for us to leech off of. When we're not leeches anyway. We don't want nothing from them. And even if we did, they ain't got nothing to give us. So when we say, "Hey, man, we're our own ethnic group. We're foundational Black Americans." No, y'all African. Y'all like me. Y'all African. No, we're not. I'm gonna prove to you that we're not, based on how other people have ethnogenesis. People become different ethnic groups. No, we're different. They're not like us. They're not like us. Even though we share African DNA, we're not continental Africans. We are a unique, distinct ethnic group with a long, deep rooted history. Then that's when the vitriol comes out. Well, y'all ain't gonna get no reparations, and Hispanics are gonna take over. Y'all ain't shit, and the white people are the best. Then that tether energy starts coming right on out, don't it? You see, it comes right on out. That hate and contempt, which is the reason why we have to delineate. Too much hate and contempt. We ain't with that. Let's get Malcolm. Malcolm in the building.
Hey, what's going on, Tariq? How you?
I'm good, brother Malcolm. How are you, brother?
I'm good. I can't complain. I just want to say, I appreciate everything you're doing, and you somebody that I definitely look up to, and keep grinding and keep going.
I appreciate,
Protect this brother at all costs.
man. I appreciate that, man. Real talk. I appreciate that. Real
I,
talk.
I I just, I just want to say just a couple of things.
Go ahead.
First and foremost, it made me so proud when that brother ran up on Roland Martin. That's first and foremost.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
That's it really, really. I wish he could have got hands on it, but it's always the mammy that's getting in between two men. You
Mm.
know,
Yeah.
I really, really didn't appreciate that. She needed to stay in her place. That's
Mm.
first and foremost. But
Yeah.
that's here nor there. Now, secondly, the sad part about the Democratic Party is they have the tendency of giving black people something for free to keeping us down. There should be no reason why people that's been on Section 8 since the 90s are still on Section 8. And the only thing that they're creating generational wealth is Section 8 and food stamps. It's pathetic to me, you know. And the only time that the Democratic Party comes around is during vote for me, shucking and jiving. Here we are to pander. They pander to the African American community. And we need to start holding the Democratic Party to to what they say that they're going to do for us. You see what I'm
Yeah, but
saying?
enough folks ain't doing it. That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to say. And folks are still showing up there shucking and jiving and eating catfish nuggets and twerking. And that's the problem. That's the problem when we are trying to say, hey, man, let's make these people stand on some business. Let's make them do something. We can't keep supporting these people for nothing. They're taking our vote for granted. We're like we're just obligated to vote for them and they don't have to do anything. That's not a good precedent that we've set. But people like just go along with that program. They keep going along with that program and it just doesn't work. Let's get Jase Tosa. Um, I can't pronounce your name, brother. But Jase Tosa. I think I'm somewhat pronouncing it halfway right. Hop on, man. All
Hey
right.
everyone, Tariq, everyone in the space. It's Josie, and
Josie.
I'm
Okay.
Josie. And so first, I want to give my background. I'm full blood Chiricahua, Apache, and Comanche, and I can trace my lineage back to at least before the 1100s on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you guys speak of FBA, I have a lot of understanding and respect for that because, as you were speaking previously about these transplants, these invaders being placed into black communities
Mm-hmm.
in order for them to be assimilated and transitioned into the larger society or for them to, kind of migrate into their own areas. Um, in the past, there were other examples of the Chinese being mixed with the Mexicans, but when I get back to the FBA group as a whole, since now we call ourselves nations,
Yeah.
that term tribe is imposed upon us by people we don't respect them doing that to us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so as nations, since we were here before, we did have FBAs who, by virtue of escape or to try to be free, uh, would migrate with native nations.
Yeah.
And a great example of that is during the Mexican American War and uh, the Mexican Revolution. You had groups of FBAs and other uh, descendants of FBAs migrating to Mexico in search of freedom. And
Hmm. The Muskogos. Yeah, the
this was
Muskogos.
after the Civil War. So,
Hmm.
for example, then you had, in this one good example, you had the Muskogees. They would call them the Black Muskogees.
Yeah.
And John Horse, who
Hmm.
was, black, FBA descendant,
Hmm.
and
One of my
mixed
heroes.
with Muskogee.
One of
Right.
my heroes. John was a big hero of mine. But go ahead.
He was honored by the Mexican president at the time for taking part in the war down there in Mexico. And there are descendants to this day of FBAs living in Mexico, in northern Mexico.
Hmm.
And so my point with that is that, I agree with a lot of these things. I don't agree with everything, like everybody, you know, doesn't agree with everything, but,
Right.
I understand where you all are coming from, and I just wanted to put my 2 cents in there and
There
leave it at that.
there you go, man. I appreciate you, man. Very good insight, man. Thank you so much. Very good insight. All right. Yeah, some of our we talked about that in the movie American Maroon. My good foundational Black American brother John Horse, and phenomenal brother. This was one of the greatest military minds because this dude went up against the U.S. Army and didn't take an L. John Horse did not take an L. This dude fought tooth and nail against the U.S. Army, dude, and other hostile red tribes too, because they were trying to put them in slavery. And this dude, John Horse, was with the business, and he fought against the Texas Rangers, whooped their asses. They had John Horse and the Black Seminoles who became the Muskogos, and that's another thing too. He mentioned the Muskogees or the Muskogos, which is a group of black people down in Mexico, but they were at first they were the Black Seminoles. So you see, when people move and they go to different places and migrate to different places, certain things and certain cultures kick in, and then they become somewhat of a new ethnic group. They have somewhat of an ethnogenesis. See, that's how ethnogenesis work. You move, you migrate, more people become amalgamated into your culture, different foods, different languages are introduced, different customs and cultures are introduced and created based on necessity, and then you become a different ethnic group from the group that you were before. This whole thing where they're just trying to plop us in Africa, we ain't been in Africa for centuries. We're not continental Africans. Yeah, we got African DNA. Culturally, we're not. This whole thing where they try to act like everybody can have an ethnic group or an ethnicity except foundational Black Americans, y'all go to hell. We are a very unique, distinct ethnic group who has a deeply rooted culture that everybody tries to emulate. And we are standing on that and gatekeeping our culture and acknowledging our unique culture that has influenced everybody. Not only is our culture unique and distinct, we've influenced everybody. It's the most emulated culture, you see? And we ain't got no apologies for that. You're not gonna Africanize us. Nigga, you're Hausa, you Igbo. We all Igbo, nigga. Well, how come we ain't over in the Igbo tribe now? I don't give a damn. It's all about me. Plebiscite babble. All right, let me get some more folks in here. What's up, Nikki the God? I see you, dear. I see you down there, Nikki. Y'all wave to my sister Nikki down there. All right, let's get let me see. Y'all raise your hand if you want to get on. I think we're having a decent conversation tonight. How many folks we got in here? Boy, we got over 1,000 people in here. And family, that album, the new album of the funny songs that we got, featuring the song Musty Tether. The new album is going to be out September 13th, Friday, September 13th. The pre-sales will be available for the album on iTunes and all of those things. I think next week we're gonna have the first single. Well, the Musty Tether. That's not the first single. That's like a little teaser single. A lot of people like Musty Tether, hot song. Shout out to Red Joker. He made like a little video of Roland, like a cartoon of Roland dancing to it. It's hilarious. But we got another single, the official single that we're gonna have ready for the album this weekend. And the single is called "Grinding for a Green Card," and that's the name of the album, "Grinding for a Green Card." It's hot. I'm telling you, we got some bangers on there. We got some bangers on this album, family, and it's from my production group, Flextro. It's not Mink Slide. Mink Slide is different. This is Flextro. Is when we do our funny stuff, but it's still funky though. It's funny, but it's hella funky though. The tracks are bangers. That's the thing. Like even the song Musty Tether, that's a banger. People like that song. You can play that at a club. There's a song on there. It's called Punjabi Passion. Wait till y'all hear this. We got to put a little video together for it. But yeah, we got some hot ones on there, man. Wait till y'all hear Punjabi Passion. I'm thinking about uh, getting like some images of Vivek and Dinesh D'Souza and even Kamala and have them in the little animation video. Oh, we got some crazy ideas. Let me get a couple of more calls here. Let's get Viral Drip. Won't be on too long because I've already been on here for an hour and 30 minutes. Time goes by fast, don't it? And by the way, we got an event happening at the Hidden History Museum Saturday, September 14th, and the tickets will go on sale shortly. Viral Drip, what's happening?
What's up, Flex?
How you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Much success to you, bro. Thank you for letting me speak.
Yes,
I
sir.
just want to bring a little attention to what's going on here in Ferguson. You know, this was like the 10th year Mike Brown been gone. I don't call that shit no anniversary because anniversaries meant to celebrate stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you've been paying attention, but what's been going on? Me and my brother was out there and I saw some of the things that were going on. Like you know how they send instigators out there doing protests and things. Well, it was this one brother out there. You know, the cars was coming through. He getting into it with people in the cars, and then he ready to fight a brother on the street.
Oh
Then he
Lord.
rattling the gate at the in front of the police station. And then he asking people like, all we need is 15 people to bring it down. I told my brother, I said, he out here instigating, bro. This whole night, the police watching what's going on. They letting everything go down. They just letting it happen until they get to a point where they want to come out and arrest somebody. And this
Wow.
brother, he ended up charging one of the police and they laid him on his back. And they claim he was in a coma. I don't know what the brother's circumstances were, but we had the Chief and Wesley Bell. Man, they giving his brother football numbers, Flex. And the Chief talking about how he done with this, what we protesting for. Bro, if I gotta tell you why we out here protesting, you don't need to be Chief.
How
Wesley
many years they
Bell,
trying to get? How many years they trying to get old boy?
I don't know because he ain't been convicted yet, but the charges not looking good. They gave him like 5 or 6 charges and like 4 other people. I mean, Flex, they gave him charge on officer on another officer destruction of property, and Wesley Bell was like his last final act before he go to the Senate, like he trying to squash this Ferguson thing. But we gonna be out there. We ain't gonna let this pass because this brother never get justice. And that's one thing I heard the chief say, talking about we want justice for the officer. And I'm like, damn that, because Mike Brown family never got justice. And that's the reason we gonna keep being out there.
Yeah. Yes, indeed, my brother, man. Real talk. Thank you so much, Viral.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, well, they start digging in the trove to give black folks all types of weird numbers. I saw one case where a black dude, pulled a gun on some fast food worker. It was a dumbass crime he did, but boy, they gave this dude crazy numbers. He went to a fast food place. The fast food worker, I think he tried to pay for some food with drugs, and the fast food worker didn't want it. So then he pulled a gun on the fast food worker. From what I understand, I don't think he killed anybody. He just pulled a gun and like, why won't you take my drugs? Or just dumbass bonehead crime. But they gave this dude, from what I understand, like 134 years in prison. Like, okay, that's something. Nah, I know he's a dumbass, but 134 years? What the hell? The hell kind of damn charge did they give him? You know, when it comes to us, boy, no, these race soldiers and white supremacists, they be shooting us and get 10, 20 years if they get convicted. They get like virtual slaps on the wrist. But boy, they know how to really double down on them charges with us, boy. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's get Arso, uh, what's your name? Arso Remento.
What's going on? What's going on?
What's up, brother? How are you, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
What's happening, Dimitri?
All right, yeah. So we got like what 2 years, 4 years before like we can actually do something. Do you think we can build up our own president, being foundational Black American and running off strictly reparations? Because since that's the goal, it's like all right, if we can build up, like even and we have replacements, backups. If he doesn't win or she doesn't win, we will vote for this person. Line it all up before the next election.
Here's the problem. We got to be real about certain things, man.
Hmm.
If we were to get a grassroots person from our community to try to build him up to be the next president, what the white supremacists will do is what they always do. They'll pay a bunch of po Negroes to take shots at him and tear him down.
That's
We got
fine, but we know it won't work because we picked them. You dig what I'm
right,
saying? It's not like we just all agreeing on something, and that's coming together since we all want to see reparations, right?
right. But yeah, let me answer that. Let me get deep for a minute. Thank you, brother. This is the problem. We got to be very real. We let a lot of our folks get attacked and demonized, and then we go for it. Black folks go for the okie doke. The minute black folks start getting attacked, deep down, too many black folks like seeing that shit. Deep down, there's too many black folks when the white supremacists start smearing folks. Too many folks secretly like it. I want y'all to understand something. Back in the 60s, when they were tearing down Malcolm, because they were tearing down Malcolm in the press, there's black people going along with it. There's footage of black folks running around here. Malcolm X is a troublemaker. All this race dope. They were bucking their eyes then. You had Sambos and Mammies denigrating Dr. King in the 1960s. Don't let all these folks sit up here and act like they were down. There was one woman, I forgot her name. I think she was an FBI informant, that they had this woman attacking Dr. King, talking about he's a communist and he is bad for the community. What they do, they get po Negroes. The white supremacists, all they got to do is just pay some po Negroes, throw a couple of shekels at you to attack the black folks who's rising up on the grassroots. That's a problem. We haven't figured out how to squash that. we haven't really gotten enough on code to squash that phenomenon from happening. That's why we can't really get things on the next level that we need to get it on the grassroots level in the political sphere. Because once you start getting up into that political realm and you get that major political influence, the white supremacists, they're going to get their little po Negroes, and there's a whole line of them ready to throw you under the bus. All they got to do is just give them a couple of dollars and they'll throw you under the bus. Yeah, it's very easy. We got, you know how many Democratic shills we got in here now? We got Gabriel in here. He's a Democrat shill. They pay Gabriel to come in our spaces. Now, Gabriel's cool. You know, I'm not knocking on you, Gabriel. I'm not knocking you. But at least Gabriel has he has decent conversation. He'll try to argue their points in halfway good faith, but bad faith. He doesn't come in just ultra trollish. But then you have people who are just paid to troll our spaces.